Oh, we're live. Good morning. Welcome back to the One Celtic Fans View. Another one bites the dust was the news headlines last night. Yes, whilst the hilarities can go, it's the club that keeps giving, doesn't it? And they have sacked another manager, but there are more important things to be worried about as Celtic fans on this day, the 6th of October 2025. Today is the day that the Celtic Fans Collective have their meeting with the board. They did get notification last week. In conjunction with the Celtic Fans Collective, supporters organisations have accepted the invitation by Celtic FC to meet Chris Mackay, Michael Nicholson, the lawyer, the head of security, maybe John Paul Taylor. He'll not get on that. He'll get nowhere near it because he's too close to the fans. And then there'll be several other high-ranking officials. It's like some kind of war meeting to call a truce. Is this the day, ultimately? As a result of the development, obviously the planned 3-match silence was postponed in good faith and hope that the expectations of the supporters can have full and honest communication, it says, with the club. Now, with that being said, what would be a good outcome for the meeting tonight? Because I think that we all know that they want to go in heavy and they want to get rid of certain people off the board. That will not happen tonight at tonight's meeting. So I do wonder what will happen at tonight's meeting, and can there be common ground? Because let's face it, Brendan Rodgers as a manager, Brendan Rodgers feels that he's the one that's trying to, he said himself, Brendan Rodgers said, I see myself as trying to see if we can pull together on the pitch and if we can help unify everything. I noticed that there's no talk of Lawwell being at the meeting. But Brendan Rodgers is hopeful that we can try unify everything, because that's what Celtic's about. Celtic is that feeling, and there's not the right feeling across the club at the moment. It's not right, Brendan Rodgers says. However, when you go into the pitch, you have to win. You need to continue to win. That's why I'm so proud of the players. They went 2-1 down and a couple of misplaced passes. You need to hold your nerve and deal with the pressure. And fair play to Celtic. They did dig in deep last night, yesterday. And it was the first time that they've dug in deep for a while. And we were starting to question the ability of this team, these players, to see if they could ultimately dig deep and bring out some kind of performance that was needed. Celtic Lad said, I don't think the meeting will go ahead now, and even if it does, they won't change anything until the January transfer window. The meeting will still go ahead, because if it doesn't, out of jail yesterday. Yeah, it was a get out of jail, wasn't it? If Lawwell, let's just get some of these comments in before we crack on to other stuff. If Lawwell and Desmond isn't in the meeting, won't make a difference, just saying. Well, it will, because really all that Peter Lawwell is a spokesman. He has nothing to do with the day-to-day running of the business. As CEO, he chairs meetings, and he doesn't have a lot to do, really. He has nothing to do with the day-to-day running of the actual business side of the club. He has no decisions to make. He gets to put together a dossier of managers that's handed to him, that he then hands to Dermot to say, right, which one are we going to go for? And Dermot ultimately makes the phone call. But Joseph Davison says, we did that, talking about getting out of jail yesterday. But not only that, it's not about getting out of jail yesterday. There was a couple of comments that obviously I wanted to talk about. The Chris Sutton one. My sources say that Boydie is coming to Rangers' rescue. Yeah, that's obviously Chris Boyd having a dig at the meltdown that's going across the city. But it is a time that we need to forget that. And there's a bigger issue that I seen in one of the comments this morning. And it was Magnus. He said, what happened to the noise at Paradise? It used to be rocking and put the fear into the away team. Now it's like a bloody graveyard. More and more over the years, and especially over the last 5 years, especially since COVID, Celtic Park has become more reliant on the ultras to make the noise. And it's something, even at my time, when the ultra section became bigger, you used to sit and wonder, is there some kind of magic wall? Because as soon as you go from one section to the other, it's fans sitting down and they feel as if they don't need to sing. They don't need to sing because they've got this singing section in the corner. And we are, as a fan base, becoming a bit like Manchester United fans. Just saying. With the stadium isn't what it used to be. And I'm glad that Magnus actually brought that one up in the comments. It used to be rocking and put the fear into away teams, and it just doesn't now. It doesn't, But anyway, we move on. Bobby says this morning, I don't know, Brendan Rodgers doesn't change his tactic much, but we need two up top with Kells and Maeda. Dyson is a waste on the wing for me this season. I think that, is he a waste on the wing? Because I think that's his better position, to be honest. I really do think that it's his better position. But anyway, back to the Fans Collective. What would be a good outcome from the meeting tonight? Tell me in the comment section and we'll get your comments up this morning. Because obviously there's going to be Gus Fitzsimmons has been a member for 9 months. I'm on a buzz. Hope it's going well. I'm still out in the corridor and surrounded by boxes, but we'll deal with that later. Russell Martin to get a police escort out of the ground yesterday, but who cares about that? Tell me what you think that a good outcome would be from the fan meeting tonight. It's not going to lead to the resignation of any of the two that will be in attendance, Chris Mackay or Michael Nicholson. They want answers around transfer windows. They want the removal of certain people from the board. I just don't see, until we hear what comes out of the meeting tonight, and it'll probably be published tomorrow, but there will be some snippets that'll come out, and there'll be some bits of information come out after the meeting tonight, so hopefully once we get some of that, it may be before the live tonight. We will be still going live tonight, and tomorrow night I will be, and it'll be an interesting week because we can't take an eye off the ball. When you look at the league table, and we all know what the league table looks like this morning, Celtic are back within a couple of points after winning 3-2 yesterday. It is only 2 points between Hearts and Celtic at the top of the table. We need to keep it as close as that for the game at the end of the month when we play Hearts. Forget about the team in 8th position. Forget about meltdowns. Forget about what's going on across there, because over the next 2 weeks, hopefully Brendan Rodgers can work his magic on the players that aren't away on international duty. We will have a number of players that can hopefully start gelling as a squad. Nice to see Iniacho's enthusiasm on the pitch. Looks like he's a fan already. Grim Reaper chucking him out the second floor transfer window would be a result. Was I? Have I? Congratulations on being named a right good Timbaz. Keep it up. Great content. Where did I win that accolade? That's news to me from another one from Paul. I take it I just won a trophy. Nothing new about the atmosphere. Nothing new about the atmosphere. It wasn't up to much before the Ultras got their act together. Small fractions around the top tiers sang. Even under Martin O'Neill, it wasn't great. Yeah, but it seems to be just getting worse. Do you know what I mean? Look at European nights now. European nights are definitely not what they used to be. It's a strange one because Celtic have been relying on their atmosphere and the reputation of the atmosphere for so long, and especially when it comes to your European context, and to not have it is is this do you know what it is? Do you know what I think's maybe caused it to get even more mundane? And it is the lack of serious excitement at football. This is just my take on it, and this is why I think that the fans are sitting on their arse and there's no excitement. I mean, if you think back to the Tommy Burns era, winning 3-2 with a late goal was kind of a regular occurrence. Do you know, it was always a late goal, and that built. Nobody left early. Nobody left the stadium early to try and get to their buses. You still get the odd drunk guy trying to start songs and no one joins in. Back in my day, every fucker sang, hail, the Celts, oh yeah. And you fucking shambles, get off your fucking arse and sing. Oh, you gotta love the old drunk guys at games, eh? Why did he be drunk? Old. Oh, the odd drunk guy, yeah, this is true. When's Alistair Johnson back? Badly missing him on the right hand side. We'll look to getting it in. And the left players, yeah. Vaz winning one more trophy than the Huns. Yeah. All these early Sunday games don't help. Well, it's not really early on a Sunday, is it? It's, but yeah, I don't think that has an effect on the atmosphere. Anyway, I think that the real effect on the atmosphere is the fact that we have got used to winning too easily and the serious lack of competition within the SPFL. So I hope that Hearts continue their fine form and run and give us a bit of competition within, because it may just relight the atmosphere within Celtic Park to motivate the fans and back the team, and hopefully the team start getting it together. And like Brendan Rodgers says in his interview after the press conference yesterday afternoon, he says that guys that have been around here know the difficulties and the pressure. He says, and you get the feeling that there is that some of the new guys don't understand the pressure of winning every single game. And it's not just about winning every single game, it's about winning with style. And this is where some of the new guys maybe haven't come in so far. And then there's you could say the fact that the Scottish contingent of the team has been diluted phenomenally over the last 5 years, and maybe that's having an impact on the type of player and the knowing. You know, it's not just a case of, I mean, players come to Celtic and they're not used to having that pressure of having to win every single game, and maybe, I don't like to use the term, but the entitledness of some people within the support, thinking that, we need to, it's always been the Celtic thing, we need to win every game, but it was never expected. And maybe the fact that it is expected in this day and age, the club has got too comfortable from top to bottom. Yeah, I think it is. Brendan Rodgers is all spin and more spin. Get him gone now. Paul, and this is a serious question, as much as I want him gone at the end of the season, because I think his football is just getting boring now, and this happened the last time he was here. Would it be a good time to change manager? Now, let's be honest. If we need one piece of glue that keeps us together to the end of the season, and unfortunately for you, Paul, it will be Brendan Rodgers. Getting rid of the manager mid-season is never going to be good for winning the league. There's not many times that a manager could come in and pick up the gauntlet and have a right good run, changing formations, changing tactics, the thing is, tactics won't change, the training sessions won't change, because changing Brendan Rodgers doesn't really change anything. If you look what's happened just across the city, I mean, they've got rid of the manager, they got rid of the first team coach, they got rid of this guy, they got rid of this guy. Celtic never do that. Celtic never get rid of the backroom staff. Do you know, the one that feels entitled is Brendan Rodgers says, Paul, Bobby says it's as simple as seating the ultras group together in one part of the park, preferably right behind the goal. Condense the noise into one location and it will sound better product. Bobby, I understand what you're saying, and I understand that there is that collective feeling that the group want that. Excuse me, but you've got to remember that the two ultras groups were created due to disobedience within a certain faction of the ultras section. And if you've got to remember, they were banished to the top tier. They were banished to the top tier for their for not behaving within the Green Brigade section, and they were never known as the boys. It was the SMV, the Street Mile Vandals or whatever it was called. It was basically the spray paint crew in the younger days. Now they're all older and they've got their own section. It was never an agenda to have two separate entities of ultras at Celtic Park. I think they were kind of hoping that when they got put away up to the top tier that they would kind of disband, but if anything they grew in stature with the younger section of the support, which gladly welcomed them into the boys. Now, I've no issue with the boys or the Green Brigade, but I just think that we need to know the history behind why there's two separate ultra sections at Celtic Park and understand why, they were kept apart for so long, because they wouldn't behave, and then it ends up the Green Brigade can't behave anyway. So anyway, a lot of people are asking Stephen Johnson how you are this morning, mate. Obviously you came out with the information yesterday that you did, but it's just to let you know there are a lot of people within the chat asking for you, mate. John says these fans' statements are so cringe. Grown adults talking about football like it's politics or something. Get a grip. Get a life. It's a game. It means nothing. John, I get you with that, because the people that are running the collective are running it as a political campaign. I've no issue with the people running a campaign, but I think trying to run it like a political campaigns never go too well in Scotland in total. So trying to run it like a political campaign, it should be a fans movement. Calling it fans collective and stuff. For me, when you look, if you want a decision to be made, and you've got to admire what went. I mean, it's hilarious what went on yesterday at Falkirk. I mean, it is hilarious. But if you want to make change, and if you want to instigate things, you fucking corner the team boss. And by the way, if that was Celtic, the police would have went in heavy-handed and got rid of the Ultras group. But because they're standing round the bus with their face all up and everything, do you know what I mean? But as they were pulling out the parent and child section every home game for fighting with each other, we were sick of it. Yeah. Keep politics out our beautiful game. It's not very beautiful at the matter. Is it? I'm not too sure, Paul. Brian asking what time the meeting is. I'm not sure. Like I say, I was off radar. I didn't look at internet for 3 days, whilst doing 4-hour drives three days in a row. So I'm no idea what time the meeting is. I just know that there is the meeting, obviously, and then we'll just wait and see. I liked Maider's reaction to getting the winner yesterday. Shows he's still giving 100%, says Scott. Yeah, I don't think that... I mean, I think we all know what Dyson went through at Celtic. You have to have a bit of compassion for Dyson, because he obviously let the club know that he wanted to try something new. And he emptied his locker at Lennox Town. He thought he was getting a move away from Celtic. He'd obviously been told by his agent that Celtic were in discussions with someone to sell him. We don't know the club. We don't know any insides or any insider information. But all that we know is that he was preparing to leave Celtic. And same as Yang. Yang went down to Birmingham. He's in Birmingham. He's done his medical. He's done all the right things. He's agreed a brand new contract with a club. He's agreed wages. He's done everything. And Yang has been waiting on a phone call from Celtic to formalise the deal, and it didn't happen. And then they pulled the plug because Celtic were pissing about and sent him back up the road. That has a lot of it has an effect, even though it's your job. And you turn out, if you just imagine if you thought you were getting a new job, and you think you're just on the verge, and then it all falls flat at the last minute. You've packed up your house, you've done everything. You've said your goodbyes. You're thinking it's going to happen any day now. You're moving country, and it would have had a great effect on him, his family, his missus. And when he crosses the line, he's like, it comes across as that he maybe not be interested. But you've got to think what's going on in his background and in his head. And we go on about mental health issues, and it's a thing in this day, and it's good to talk. Just a pity that he can't talk better English, because then we maybe get an understanding of what Dyson has been personally feeling about the situation. And that's something that if he was fluent in English, it would probably be a question that would be asked to him rather than through an interpreter, just to get the feeling of what he's really going through. Because it couldn't have been easy for him, and it was great to see that reaction yesterday. Thanks for the history, and I believe something he's done with the stadium will make Celtic better TV product progression on the pitch. It says Bobby. When it comes to, we can't take our eye off the ball. We've played badly since the transfer window. The transfer window was a disaster, but there's nothing that we can do about it now. We have to get this team firing on all cylinders. Yesterday afternoon, after going 2-1 down, it was, and then getting to 2-2, it was fantastic for the mentality of the newer players to see the reaction of scoring the goal, to see what it means to play for Celtic. That was a big win yesterday. Let's not take anything away from that win. And to getting the goal and getting the win, it's probably came at the right time but the wrong time, because players now get some time off. Players that aren't on international duty will get a couple of days off. And that's maybe the wrong thing to do. If I was Brendan Rodgers, I would say, right, those that aren't on international duty, you're back in here Tuesday morning. I don't care if it's normal holiday time. You get back in here Tuesday morning, and we get back on the training pitch. And we focus on tactical training. We focused on change of formations. Brendan Rodgers talking about he's trying to put square pegs into round holes. Is what he said when it comes to players. And yes, we've got players that are playing out of position, but this is the period that you use over the next week and a half to solidify. You use this as pre-season Mark II. But will he do it? Reminded me of the winner against Ross County and accused George. Yes, exactly. When Tony Watt puts the ball in the back of the net under Ange Postecoglou, and that was an away game. That was fantastic, and we needed that. And that was the capital. That was the game that pushed us on. Maybe yesterday, when we look back at the end of the season, maybe that game against Motherwell and them taking us so close at Celtic Park and getting that late goal, maybe that'll be the catalyst to driving Celtic forward. And hopefully we can pick up the ball where we left off. It was a massive win yesterday, hard to watch, but Celtic dug in and prevailed. Yes, and it's something, Monty, that we haven't had over the last month and a half, ever since the transfer window closed. The transfer window closed a month ago, and we've just never got there. When's Jota due back? Let me just try to do this. We've done that one, Monty. He tried to get us to take a tricolour down through politics. When's Jota due back? He will fill the gap on the right wing. I think that Jota won't be rushed back because I think that Celtic know that he is a player for the long term, and you don't want to bring him back too early because, I mean, we were talking about yesterday about Kieran Tierney, and Kieran Tierney's thighs and his overall weight, he looks as if he's lost a bit of stone worth of muscle. Yeah, Willie man, I'm sitting on the shitter, just doing YouTube, just sitting on the pan. Oh God. Jota plays on the left. Anyway, yeah, I'm just reading comments out, mate. When get them straight back into training, injured, sort of stop pussyfooting about. Yeah. When you look at the team and the squad that we have at Celtic, it is all about now just maintaining what we can. You know, forget about when is Jota back, because he's not going to be back until around about February. The quicker that we can get back, the big one for me is getting back Alistair Johnston. But after a certain interview with Alistair Johnston, and he was asked the question, do you aspire to play in the English Premier League? Do you aspire to play in a bigger league? And he said, well, every player does. But if I'm at Celtic for the rest of my life, I'm obviously doing something right because Celtic are a massive club. And that put the fear of death into me, because there may come a time that Alistair Johnston, as a Canadian international football player, may say, look, I really need to go and play at that higher level to maintain my international career. And he did say himself, Alistair Johnston, that the issue that he has within himself as a player is that when he gets too comfortable, he doesn't reach the heights. He doesn't reach the heights as a player that he knows he can. And that is when a player starts to think, right, I need a change. So whilst it's good having Alistair Johnston, let's not be too reliant on the players. We still need to be building. Anyway, it is all going to be around about the news tonight and what comes out of the meeting. We will be going live. We will be going. No, mate, I'm run down. 4 days of just craziness and moving house. So thanks for that. So yeah, we will be going live at 8 PM Celtic Park time tonight. Hopefully we'll have some information about what's came out about the meeting tonight. If not, we'll probably get a full documented take on the meeting, and we'll be able to talk about that. So there's lots to talk about over the next couple of days. On that note, have an absolutely fantastic day, Celtic fans all around the world.